It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy, and you can tell it's still fall. Get rid of the Halloween, we're back in the fall because now we're going to be doing our Thanksgiving show. Woohoo! Oh, I miss Callie Elliott. She used to help so much around the kitchen all the time when I had the holidays. Oh, lots of treats to make and lots of samples. So we're going to be doing a different way of making our turkey this year. Now, I haven't made turkey in a long time because we made so many episodes, which you can check out on YouTube. Just go to the search box, the Northwoods Cooking Show, click, and YouTube, and all my episodes, my videos will show up from the last 7 years, 8 years. And I got a lot of Thanksgiving and fall shows in there. They have a lot of different recipes for making your turkey and for side dishes and stuff. And it's getting harder and harder every year to come up with something new for Thanksgiving. But I did. Leave it to Uncle Roy to find something new. We're going to be doing our turkey this year in a crock pot. Can you stand it? Crock pot Thanksgiving turkey. Oh my God. But this is going to be just perfect if you got a smaller group. You don't have a huge family. You don't got all the relatives coming over. If you want to do just for a little simple party of 4 people, this is absolutely perfect. You know, maybe 6, but perfect for 4. Depends on how much you want to eat, you know. So what I'm going to do is, in the crock pot, always make sure you spray that first. It's so easy to forget. And it just makes cleanup so much easier, and make sure you get the lip of the crock pot. That's where all the crusties come in, and it's just impossible to clean. You got to let it soak for days, you know what I mean? You know. And don't forget the cover either. A lot of people forget that. I always do the cover and the edge, because that's going to sit there, and when it boils away and stuff as it's cooking, you get all those crusties right there on the edge there. Cleanup is so much easier if you just spray it. And we're going to be taking and doing a turkey breast. You don't have the whole turkey. I don't even make crock pots that big. A whole turkey. We're just doing a turkey breast. And you just have your average turkey breast. This is about anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. Will work out just fine. And always remember how you thaw it out in the refrigerator. You want to have a fresh turkey breast. You don't want to have it frozen. You want to have it thawed out completely. So at least stick it in the refrigerator overnight. And the next morning you can do it. In fact, you can even do it Thanksgiving Day morning if you wanted to, because it's only going to take about 4 hours to cook in your crock pot. So you just do your timing, you know, how you want to set it up for the day, when you're going to eat, at night, at lunchtime, or whenever, you know what I'm saying? So it only takes about 4 hours, so plan accordingly, and there you go. The breast is thawed out. Best, safest way is to have it in the refrigerator overnight. That's your best bet. There's different ways of hurrying. If you want to put a frozen one in the water, blah, 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 blah. Just plan ahead of time. As far as the taping of the show, I'm like way a month ahead of time. But when you want to, if you got a frozen turkey breast, just stick it in the refrigerator overnight. You're going to be just fine. It's perfect. So we have our thawed out breast. Very simple. Now we're going to just take and do a simple salt and pepper rub. Now, of course, I'm using kosher salt. You just want to rub that all over and inside the cavity. Because the salt is what it does. Kosher salt is going to take and not toughen up the skin, but it keeps the moistness of the turkey in and makes it a really juicy bird. So we're going to have a salt there, and then we're just going to put on our pepper. You can use fresh cracked pepper if you want, that's fine. I'm just using regular ground pepper only because I want it ground and I want to pat this in and rub it all over my turkey. With cracked pepper, it'll work, but I always find that cracked pepper, you know, falls off. And then you gotta sit there and scoop it up and pack it in and everything else. So just let it, I like to use just regular ground pepper. And then we have our salted and peppered turkey breast. Place that right in. You can do breast side up or down. I want to put it down simply because it'll cook better. Everything will be covered in the juices. And always making sure after handling poultry, especially, you want to wash your hands. You don't want to get your family sick. And believe me, I've gotten sick before. I've had where turkey has been thawed out partially and then refroze it. Well, that's the biggest no-no in the world. And that'll make you sick for sure. So be very careful. So we want to, make sure your hands are nice and clean. Then, besides the salt and pepper, we're going to put in, about 3 or 4 sprigs of fresh thyme. You can get that at the grocery store. And with extra ones, this is great too if you put these in your stuffing, or if you're going to fry up some American fries and potatoes on the stove for yourself or later or whatever, a little thyme in that works great. It's good ways of getting rid of that. Okay, so we got that. Then we're going to put in about 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just going to break that up just so I can kind of like shove that inside the turkey a little bit. Maybe a little bit underneath the skin. Just to help make it a little moister. And give it a nice rich flavor. Okay, now for the marinade. We're going to take and put that in a separate bowl. While taping, technical difficulties, didn't record. So I'm going to redo this by thought here. You'll get it. In the bowl here, we need 1 cup of cranberry sauce. Now if you have whole berry cranberry sauce, that works best. If you don't, it's no big deal. I got regular cranberry sauce in there. I just took and added, about 1/4 cup of dried cranberries to it, because as it sits and cooks now in the crock pot, those cranberries will plump up. And it's just going to give it a more Thanksgiving texture to your gravy, because you're going to have the little cranberry bits in there, whole cranberries. That's what you want. Next, we're going to put in a cup of apple cider. I poured that in, and I happen to have sugar-free apple cider. There's just 1 cup of apple cider, or you can use apple juice if you want. I just did apple cider because mine was sugar-free. Whenever I can, I try to use sugar-free items because I'm diabetic. Then we also put in a 1/2 cup of chicken stock. Now, if you don't happen to have chicken stock available, or you don't want to open up a big, huge can of it or jug or whatever, you can just do a 1/2 cup of water, and I put in a 1/4 teaspoon of chicken base. Now, I get the Carlsberg chicken base from the Hack and Mueller's meat market here in Robbinsdale. It's a soft chicken base. It's a fabulous flavor. All the restaurants I work at downtown, I used to work at, everybody gets the Carlsberg. It's an absolutely rich, rich flavor. So I just put a 1/4 teaspoon into the hot water, mix that up, a 1/2 cup of water for my chicken stock, and pour that in. Then we also need a envelope of Lipton onion soup mix. Mom always had Lipton onion soup mix and cream mushroom soup growing up, so it's always 1 or 2. She put that in everything, it seems like. So we put in 1 packet of Lipton onion soup mix, along with 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So we mix this all up. This is our marinade. And then this gets poured right over our turkey. And now we're going to take and put this on low, make sure it's plugged in, and that's going to cook now for approximately 4 hours, or until you stick a meat thermometer into the breast center, and it registers you want at least 165 degrees. Now, well, that's true for even downtown at the restaurant. 165 is your safe bet to cook any of your foods. Up to serve hot, you want at least 165. Next, it's going to be another Amish recipe, and this is going to be a pork chop casserole. So this is very, very easy to do. It's so simple. All we're going to do is just brown our pork chops.
Now it's like I said, very simple, very easy to do. And it's just a very few ingredients. You probably have these at home right now in your pantry anyway. It is very simple. But what I'm going to do is just take my 9x13 pan and I just lined it with foil. I just like to do that on certain dishes just so cleanup's easier and it's not, everything doesn't stick so hard. But I like to take and just even spread the foil slightly too. And you can take, if you want to, do a little salt and pepper. That's fine. You don't have to. But just to give it a little flavor, that's fine. Like I said, I don't like to cook with salt that much anyway. But when frying meat, it helps to seal in the juices. So just, I like to sprinkle a little kosher salt in on top. Excuse me. And we don't have to cook these all the way through. That's what makes it easy and convenient, and you can make it up before you go to work in the morning so that it's ready for you at night when you come home. Or you can just whip it up together at night. And all we're going to do is just brown these. We just want to sear in the juices. Just so they don't, get all dried out. Nothing worse than biting into cardboard meat, you know what I mean? We're just going to lightly sprinkle these, salt and pepper, there we go. And we'll just continue browning these off, and then we're going to take and just layer them in the pan. And I'll be right back. Okay, now our chops are browned, and we're just going to layer these in to our casserole dish. Our 9x13-inch pan. And then to make it simple, so that's easy, just brown them off. Then we just take our potatoes, and I got 2 potatoes here that I just sliced up thinly. You can leave the skins on, take them off, all personal preference. So I like to cut them by hand when possible. I'm not that big a hurry. It only takes a couple minutes, not that long. Just be careful with your knives and don't cut yourself. So when you get to the end of the butt, let it go. It's so easy. Oh, I got to get to the end of that, and then you always cut yourself at the very end. Anyway, so we just layer that with the potatoes. Next, we're going to put on 2 cans of green beans. And you can use the French style if you want. I happen to have the whole ones. Because this is going to be it's very similar to the green bean casserole too. Because then you just spread these all around. And then, cream of mushroom soup. And cream of chicken. One of each. And I want to just put this in the bowl first, because I want to mix these 2 together so that we get an even coating rather than having this sauce be on one spot of mushroom and one spot of chicken. You want to, blend these up a little bit. And that's all there is to it, really. Very easy to do. And then, like I said, you can make this up the night before, stick it in the fridge, and then in the morning or at night, the next day, you can just throw it in the oven. It's all ready to go. This is very quick and simple and easy to do, so you don't have to spend a lot of time making this, because it's very simple. And then you got a full meal deal here. You got your vegetable and potato, and the gravy from the soup over the top of the pork chops. So we just pour this on top, and then we'll spread this around. Very simple and very easy, quick recipe to do. Same way with the Mexican lasagna. That was real easy to make too. That wasn't hard at all. And you didn't have to pre-cook the noodles and make, a whole mess and whatnot. Which takes all day long to make lasagna. You know how that usually goes. But now I got the oven on at 350. And we'll just put this into the oven. I'll cover this with foil. And, excuse me, with pepper in the mouth. I'm going to take also, you want to cover this because you don't want to dry out that gravy. And I like to take and spray the foil slightly too. That way it won't stick to your sauce. Another tip too is if you were doing tomato-based casseroles like the lasagna or anything else, before putting the foil down when you go to cover, put a sheet of parchment paper over that, then the foil. That way the acidity from the tomato sauce won't take and eat through your foil, and then you get, you know how you get that dissolved foil all over your food? It's gross, you know what I mean? Just put a little piece of parchment paper underneath that, then the foil, and then you won't have that problem. Nice tip. So we'll put this in the oven, and this will take, until the potatoes are done, approximately, anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes. And you just take a sharp knife and poke in there. You can take the foil up, poke in there and see if those potatoes are done, and then the whole dish will be done. So that's our simple pork chop casserole from the Amish. Check it out and see you later.
So let's start off with some fall side dishes. Let's just call it that. So the first dish we're going to be making is Brussels sprouts. What do you say? Brussels sprouts? Yeah, well, everybody has Brussels sprouts. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Well, this, of course, is going to be a unique way of making them. The Uncle Roy way. You know, a little twitch of this and that. So, what we need. Get your little Jiffy Mix cornbread. The little corn muffin mix. And just mix this up according to instructions, which is very easily. Oven's at preheated, 400 degrees. Is it ready? Yeah, it's ready. Light went out. And we need 1 egg or 2 eggs? 1 egg. So we need 1 egg. And we need 2/3 cup milk. So we need the 2/3 cup milk. Now, what's so special about that? It's not. That's just your normal mix. Add a can of corn. corny cornbread. And what you need to do, of course, you got to drain this off, or you can use a small package of frozen corn. You can throw that in there too, or throw in about a cup of fresh corn on the cob. If you don't want the excess juice in there, because you already got the liquid in there with the milk. And pour in a can of corn. It's like, well, my little secret ingredients here. I'm going to be adding just a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin. I love cumin. Oh God, it's so good in everything. Ooh. Especially if you're going to do any type of spicy dishes, cumin is excellent in it. And then we just take and stir this up. Break that yolk. And just give this a few quick whisks until the mixture is all thoroughly blended. And if you get a few lumps in there, that's okay. It's perfectly fine for cornbread, for quick breads. Because those will bake through. You don't have to have it completely smooth. You don't have to do like 60, 80 strokes or something. Just mix it until it's blended. Fine, that's perfect. Then, let's see, get my little 8x8 pan. Make sure you spray it. Take a can. One thing too, tip, you got to make sure that when you spray things like that, to shake the can, because everything has settled. You want to make sure that it's thoroughly blended, all your ingredients in here, so that it doesn't stick. Because if you just spray, it'd be like alcohol comes out first and then the oil comes out at the bottom. So you want to make sure you mix that up. Uncle Roy tip. There you go. And let's pour this right into the pan. The oven's at 400 degrees, and we just bake this off until it's done. And it's going to take a little bit longer because you got the corn in there, so we stick the toothpick in to make sure it's clean. There you go. So approximately, it's going to take about 20, 25 minutes, around in there, about 20 minutes, check it. There we go. Okay, you ready for that part? That's done. Now the next part. Get it? Get it? Got it? Your little roast mat, this is a little cookie sheet, and the wrap just happens to fit in there perfectly. That was a coincidence. And what we want now is our bacon. There we go. Make sure to spray your wrap so that it comes out, doesn't stick to it, it comes out nice. Now we're going to toast this, bake this in the oven. Just take about 20 minutes. So we'll let these bake and then we'll be right back. Okay, I took out the bacon and there's our cornbread. Ooh, that looks nice. Corny cornbread. And it's going to have that little southwestern kick to it. Now we got our bacon there, that's all nice and crisp. And we'll just let this cool down so then it's easier to crumble up. And we can get on to the Brussels sprouts. Now, I got a pound of Brussels sprouts here. These are the fresh ones, not the frozen. So they're in season now. And what we need to do is we're going to roast these in the oven. And when you roast these, what you want to do is cut off the ends first. That's all blemish. And then just remove the outer leaves, the first one or two, just, you know, to get rid of the, if you have to. Sometimes it might be blemished or darkened, and just get rid of that outer one. That looks fine. And then we'll take and cut these in half lengthways, like that, and just put these in our bowl. So let me continue and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now I got the Brussels sprouts all halved, cleaned, and cut in half. And what we're going to do is pour off the baking drippings over the Brussels sprouts. Oh, bacon drippings, God. My dad put bacon drippings onto everything. That's what his mother did. And that's what they did during the Depression. They always put bacon grease in the old shortening can, left it in the middle of the stove. God, I know people that still do that to this day. So bad for you. Oh, that cholesterol. Oh, Lord. No wonder the grandfathers died young of heart attacks. There you go, blockage. But once in a while, in moderation is fine. How often have I done bacon grease? I think maybe twice now. I think I have 2 recipes with. But anyway, moderation. It tastes good, but. And then we just sprinkle a little bit of salt to taste, and a little pepper to taste. And I'll put in a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Uncle Roy here. Then we'll take and toss these, and then we're going to put these in the oven and roast them. Roasting vegetables is so easy. Basically, instead of bacon grease, you can just use vegetable oil, which is even better. I mean, healthier for you. But this is just an occasion, you know. This is a side dish for a holiday, fall thing. So once in a while, like I said, moderation's fine. We want that taste in here. But you just basically, any of your vegetables, just coat lightly in oil, salt and pepper to taste, and put them on a baking sheet, throw them in the oven, and it takes about 20 minutes to roast them. And let me see. There's already oil in this, so I don't really have to oil the sheet. Make sure that all this excess oil comes off out of the bowl. bacon grease. And we'll just arrange these in a single layer. You don't want them on top of each other, they won't get roasted. And I put them face down onto the sheet, because that's the part you really want to get the marks and roasting. That's how you would do these on a grill, let's say if you did. You roasted your vegetables, you'd put them on a grill, face side down. See, like this, and just take and just turn that over. So they're all facing down. And it'll take about 20 minutes to roast. So while that's roasting, I'm gonna set a timer on that so we don't forget it. I don't forget it. And I can add some of the other, we can make up some of the other ingredients here. Get them ready. Now for the cornbread, we're not gonna use all this cornbread. The rest you can take and eat. Eat yourself. Put a little butter on it, there you go. Nice little treat. Okay, so I just need about 1/3 of the cornbread. Now, we're gonna take the cornbread and just use about 1/3 to up to 1/2 pan. You don't need the whole thing. And we want to break these up into bite-sized pieces, because these are gonna go back into the main dish. We toss it all together, put these back in, and take about 20 minutes. We'll be back when those are done. And I'm gonna take a small onion. Whoa! Oh, Kelly, pick that up. And we'll just dice this. And we're gonna take and we wanna caramelize them, which means that the onions are gonna be fried in the remaining grease, or you can just fry it in a little butter. And the onions until they turn slightly brown and are moist. And that don't take very long at all. And I'm just doing this in a small dice, not mince, but small. So like about 1/4 inch square. Ooh, look at those Brussels sprouts. See how roasting does the vegetables? Really nice. It only takes about 20 minutes to roast your vegetables. And it's much a healthy alternative and not losing all your nutrients and vitamins. And I'm just gonna add a little butter to it. I'm just gonna put in about a nice rounded tablespoon there. So let me caramelize these, and again we'll get right back to you again. See, you know, these are getting translucent. They're getting soft. We want to go beyond this. We want to caramelize these, so we got to cook these much longer until they get to like a, you know, caramel color. We'll add our Brussels sprouts. Let's see, we'll put in 2/3 of the bacon. And we'll put in the onions. Watch them, I was just getting close to almost burning them. You gotta caramelize them on a medium heat, not a high heat. And then we'll throw in our cornbread. And then we'll just toss this all together. Then I got a little bit of chicken stock here, just to add to moisten. If it's a little dry, stir that up. Ooh, that looks good. There, that's better. You don't want a dry out salad here, or side dish. You got just a little bit of chicken stock. That moistens it up, makes it softer, so it isn't so dry. And then we'll just pan this up. Dish this up. Pretty dish, huh? Oh, pause this one. So we'll just take and transfer this into the bowl. Oh, that looks nice. Get a platter for the rest. And then take and sprinkle the remaining bacon on top. And there we have, and then that's our
beyond compare Brussels sprouts with a little Southwest touch to the cornbread. That makes a wonderful side dish.